Hey all, my name's Jay, and I'm an artist in indie dev. If you're an artist who loves video games or wants to break into the industry, this video is for you. Video games are an amazing way to showcase your art in an interactive and immersive way. They let players explore your creations at their own pace, diving as deep as they want into the worlds, characters, and stories you've built. They're also incredibly easy to share. With just a few clicks, anyone with a computer or Wi-Fi can access your game. There are so many inspiring games created by artists, my personal favorite being Amygdala, made by a 3D artist who specializes in monsters. I highly recommend you check it out, it's a very unique game. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing easy to make digital games for artists. I've divided these games into categories based on the amount of coding needed, starting from beginner-friendly options that require minimal coding to slightly more advanced projects that involve a few more scripts. First up, let's talk about games that require the least amount of coding, just 2 or 3 simple scripts. These types of games are perfect for beginners. They're easy to build, and the coding involved is very basic. For example, with an endless runner, most of the work is done by a few scripts that handle the player's movement, the spawning of obstacles or collectibles, the resetting or looping of the game environment. You can follow tutorials to set these up, and you'll be up and running literally in no time. The focus here is really on your art, creating a unique, visually stunning environment that makes your game stand out. These games are great starting points because they're simple to make and can be completed in just a few days. Next, let's move up to games that require a bit more coding, around 4 to 6 scripts. These are still beginner friendly but involve a few additional mechanics to make the gameplay more dynamic. A great example is a dress-up game. These games are relatively straightforward but involve a few more moving parts. For example, scripts to load and swap assets like clothes, hairstyles, or accessories, a script for UI interactions like buttons and menus, optional scripts for saving and exporting the final look. Another option is a match 3 game where you'll need scripts to handle player input like dragging or swapping tiles, matching and clearing tiles, swapping new tiles to refill the board. These projects are still very doable for beginners, but they'll require a bit more effort and planning. The extra coding gives you more control over mechanics and allows you to make the gameplay more polished and engaging. For these types of games, tutorials are your best friend. You can also customize them further by adding your own unique art style and mechanics to stand out. Finally, let's look at the games that require a bit more coding, around 6 or more scripts. These are great for artists who've dabbled in coding before or feel ready to tackle more complex mechanics. Here's some examples. 2D platforms, you'll need scripts for character movement, collision detection, and interaction with objects or enemies. Visual novels, these require rebranching dialogue systems, UI navigation, and sometimes even save load mechanics. Puzzle games like Sakuban are logic-based puzzles, which often involve scripting mechanics like object manipulation and win conditions. These games are a bit more ambitious, but are incredibly rewarding to complete. Plus, they open the door to creating more complex projects in the future. So there you have it, 3 levels of digital games you can make as an artist based on how much coding is required. Whether you're starting with a simple endless runner, stepping up to a dress-up game, or diving into a full platformer or visual novel, the important thing is to keep creating and experimenting. The more you practice, the better you'll get. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what kind of game you're excited to make. And if you've already made one, share it below. I'd love to check it out. Thanks for watching and happy game making!